Reviews and reviewers are entirely subjective, and it's really difficult to say that something is definitively good or definitively bad because that's up to the eye of the beholder. And that's often built upon your life experiences, what you value, what you don't value, and what resonates with you at the time. And nowhere is this more specific than probably in storytelling and compelling and emotional stories to be told. When I first played When the Past Was Around, it was back in 2021. This is where all of the footage has come from. I recorded it, I platinumed it, I had good fun, but it didn't wow me with top tier storytelling, and it didn't kind of emotionally connect with me as much as what I thought it was going to. And so I parked the recordings, completely forgot to review it, and that's why we've now got the review in 2025. Why? Well, a friend reached out to me and said they'd just played this experience, had seen I'd not reviewed it, and wanted to recommend it to me, and was evangelising about it so much, it kind of made me go, do I need a second playthrough? And I'm glad that I did, because what this is all building to, and sorry for the big long intro, is that sometimes stories, when they're about specific themes or events, need to take place in certain parts of your life and meet you where you're at. And in 2021, I'd had a run of a few years where I'd not lost any family members or any friends. And whilst there was definitely trauma from a global pandemic going on, that was a different type of trauma, and it didn't kind of associate it, at least in my brain, with this game. When the Past Was Around deals specifically with the trauma of losing someone that you love and how you move on from it. You play as Edda, who is a character that falls in love with an owl man, and the owl man likes to send her to sleep with a violin. And so you have some great soundtrack stuff with a slightly Irish jig tint to it, but not always. And the idea behind this is that because the music essentially calms Edda down when she's getting anxious or overwhelmed with the world and modern day life around her, the owl man's like her anchor. And so when he becomes ill and then passes away, Edda's then totally lost about how to cope with everyday life because the violin and the sounds and the comfort is no longer there anymore. And this is told beautifully through illustrations from artist Brigitte Renner. And whilst there are very few, if any, words on the screen, what this game does is give you a kind of ethereal, dreamlike quality to it. Because each room feels disconnected from the next, but the doors open portals to new parts of your brain that almost interact like different senses. And what this game teaches you is that even if the loved person isn't there anymore, their memories, your memories, their sights, sounds, smells, locations and places and little things that kind of trigger off memories in the back of your brain are there, and you can take them with you. And this is what When the Past Was Around repeatedly shows in a really soft and subtle way, culminating in a really uplifting credit scene, which turns into a rhythm game, which I'm all here for. But it was the most... It's really funny that the credit scene is basically the most difficult piece of gameplay in the whole experience. But it just kind of comes full circle in that you can create a world where your memories live and exist, and that can become your own comfort blanket, an emotional comfort blanket to keep you calm in a world that is quite cruel and unkind sometimes. Now, this game is a point-and-click adventure, and one of my critiques in 2021 that does still hold up in 2025 is that the point-and-clicking is quite serviceable and mechanical. And what I mean by that is that there's only ever a couple of screens that you can wander around and only ever a few things that you can click on. And so it's very much click on a few things, grab an item, work out where that should go, and that unlocks a fair variety of the puzzles and the next places that you need to go to in this kind of surreal memory palace dream world that you're in. There are some musical elements to the game, but not musical as in like you're going to have to rhythm action it. It's very much around playing with music boxes, for example, that will trigger off bubble music notes that you can then click on. And so you just kind of have to have your reactive wits around you a little bit, but they're never difficult to the point where it's going to block your progress, for example. And the same can be said of the puzzles, and that's the two-edged sword. If you want to be engaged more in point-and-click puzzling, this game probably isn't for you. If you want the puzzles to be in service of a greater storytelling aspect, then this is more your vibe. I think what this also does is make me think about when you're watching videos of critiques and reviews, you need to really understand who your reviewer is and what they value in a game, because my opinion on this game has changed quite a bit in those 4 years, and I greatly appreciate this game now. But my lived experiences have shaped that, and what I value has probably shifted in that time too. And so I would strongly recommend for any reviewers that you follow out there that you kind of do a little bit of research, or look at their About Me pages where they talk about their upbringing and their favourite games from the past and things like that, because actually I think that will help you find the best reviewers that match what you appreciate and value in games or any other medium as well. And that will be beneficial to get the best recommendations for you. Don't know if that makes sense, but I thought it was a vaguely wholesome way to end this weird review. I'm so sorry. Everyone take care. It's good. Go grab it. There we go. Bye-bye.